Hello, everyone. My name is Antoine Zeenny. I'm Senior Learning Experience Manager, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this Chalhoub Tube podcast about Chalhoub University, where we will discuss Chalhoub University, the inception, current projects, the way forward. And I have the pleasure to have with me my colleagues. So Chalhoub University is has more than 20 people in the team, but we only selected those who have been involved in the project since the beginning. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Well, ladies first.
All right.
My name is Sharnali, and I'm the Senior L&D Executive, and I work at Chalhoub University, and I've been here for 10 years now, so happy to be here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Marcello, and I'm the Digital Learning Lead for Chalhoub University.
And I'm very excited to be here as well. My name is Zaur, and I'm the Group Head of Learning and Development. I look after serving the learning needs of our employees across the group.
Very good. All right. So ready to start?
Yeah,
very excited.
Absolutely.
Excited, yeah.
Let's start with you, Zaur, about if you can tell us more about the learning culture in Chalhoub. How do you describe it? What
It's
are
such
its
a great
components?
question, Tony. We can't treat the learning culture of the group separated from the overall group culture. And over the past few years, we've been doing a lot of work around how do we activate our group values? How do we activate our group culture and continue ensuring that our culture remains very rooted to what it started, but also it evolves with the business growth and so on. And the learning has always been the part of the culture of the group, starting from our founding members all the way till current CEO and late CEO Antoine Chalhoub. We've always invested a lot into the education. And if you look at our group principles, guiding principles, two of them already touch the learning. We trust and empower for growth. We are curious, we learn, we innovate. So these are really covering a lot of learning spirit, a lot of learning mindset. And the growth mindset is something that has been embedded in our culture. Now, with majority of our team members completing one Team One Culture program as well, they have probably noticed how every chapter evolves around the learning, the growth, the culture, and we aim to see and nurture this mindset in our employees.
Can you tell us more about the concepts of learning consumers, learning contributors? Like how do they integrate with the culture element?
So what we're really aspiring to do is to ensure that every Chalhoubi has dual role to play. The first role is about being relentless learning consumer, which means continuously investing in self-education. With the diversity of the roles that we're going to see with the growth of the organization, with different functions being included into our group, it will be very difficult to have prescribed learning pathways or learnings for our employees. So we really want every employee to take their ownership of learning and continuously look at internal but also at external places where the learning can be consumed, so and share it back. So this is where you become the generous learning contributor. So not only you are relentless learning consumer, but you're also generous learning contributors. So you contribute back, you give back to the community within our organization. And Sharnali today is going to talk a lot about community building, I think Marcello as well, where we will really bring on how each employee can share his knowledge. As we used to say, the knowledge we build is the knowledge we share.
Yeah.
So how can they contribute to this learning culture?
All right. And then behind this learning culture is a very talented team of L&D practitioners. So how can you tell us, or what can you tell us more about them?
Well, is this the time when I brag about my team?
I think this is the
So, let's give them credit. Let's give them credit. Honestly, I could not have asked for a better team. We continuously push the boundaries of our learning. We experiment, we innovate. We continuously look at external benchmarks as well to see how we have advanced. I can say that we're quite ahead of the game with the digital learning, with the leadership development programs that we have. But we're not perfect. And we're ready for continuous growth and learning and so on. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, thanks, Zaur. Now I'm going to shift to the man behind the technical side and digital side of Chalhoub University. Marcello, we have launched Chalhoub University last year in the midst of COVID, and it's a major element of our learning culture now. So tell us more about this amazing project.
Yes. So, as you said, Chalhoub University launched in 2020, but, that's not where it started. So we had already thought about this concept and this project back in 2018. So it's been something that I guess we're, somehow foresaw that this is something that we're going to need in the future, and not necessarily because of COVID, but because of how, future skills and future focus we should have been, right? So we already started conceptualizing the idea.
Maybe COVID accelerated its release a lot.
It accelerated for sure, and I think this is something that everyone experienced. But I think we were well positioned to be on top of that wave rather than to be crushed by it. Whereas a lot of people had that experience. So back in 2018, we started working with partners to conceptualize what we really wanted was a home for learning, right? So it's not about tech specifically, and I'm very proud of the tech that we've designed and built, but it's more about people finding a home for what they need. Right. And so the university is a tech platform, but it's built with pillars. It's built, and the pillars are around people.
All right.
They're around our partners, our technology, and our resources. So it's something grounded in, as Zaur mentioned before, it's grounded in the values of the group. It's grounded in the culture of the group.
All right.
And it's not a tech first concept. It's a people and resources and group first.
All right. It's currently an amazing product that's being developed. So we're all constantly adding to its portfolio.
Exactly.
So what's the current status? Like, how many learning experiences are there now at the moment?
Look, I think, just before I broaden a little bit about that, it's, I always think of it as an organic, a live platform, right?
Yeah.
So you start with something that's quite basic and you build how you see it's going to develop, right? But once you start interacting with people and how people interact with your platform, the platform then really becomes supportive and it starts to grow. And currently we have around 300 to 350, I would say around about 350 different learning programs. And these are very different. So there can be quite structured, like a qualification, but they also can be quite open. And so something where, we're doing something quite different around maybe coaching, or it could be around something that you quite know of is book to classroom or something like that, right?
What is that?
So something so innovative where we're trying to switch it up and change how we approach
Very good. Yeah, I'm actually
development.
proud to be contributing to the content and then launching some new initiatives every 2 to 3 months. Very good. Let's switch to Sharnali. How are you, Sharnali?
Doing very well,
All
Tony.
good?
Tony, why don't you tell us a little bit about Book to Classroom first?
All right. Book to classroom. Interesting. So the concept came from the idea of transforming classic business books into a workshop. So like we take the essence of this book, whatever people can use in real life practically, and then we just share with them those ideas so they can live them. So that if you don't have time to read a book, like for me, I fall asleep if I read a book. So I can attend this 2-hour workshop and then it will be of a great use for me.
And to just condense the information in the most interesting way possible.
Absolutely.
And then accelerate that and maybe pursue it if you're interested as well.
Yeah. So I'm very eager to run the first one next month. I'm looking forward to that. All right, back to you.
I got confused. Who's the moderator?
All right. Let's talk a little bit about 2020, the year of COVID that everybody wants to erase from their memory. It was a memorable year for us as learning and development function. So how did we support every Chalhoubi throughout this phase?
I think I go back to the pillars that Marcello spoke about, our people, resources, technology. And it was a transformative time for the business, but it was also such a transformative time for learning because we launched Chalhoub University against difficult odds. We were remote working for the first time. We were in lockdown and it took so much collaboration of content creation, UX, tech, and we've launched it, and we've always launched it with the idea that we need to iterate. I remember that when we launched Chalhoub University, we actually leveraged our technology and our platforms, Chalhoub University as well as Exonify, which is our micro-learning platform, not just to stay as learning platforms, but also to become as communication tools. And we launched relevant content on COVID, such as COVID myths or facts, hand hygiene. Hand hygiene always gives us a laugh, but it's so important to our frontline teams.
The basics,
and it's the basics that people forget, and these were so much in focus. And it was consumed so well. We went from there to even understanding how we can keep our frontliners connected and engaged through product knowledge. How do we leverage this downtime in a time that is so fearful, that is so isolating?
Very
we just
true.
really wanted to be there to support. And we
I remember one of the learners, she sent us one feedback saying
Yes.
like, this is the time where I really felt isolated. I felt alone, and I'm very grateful that you guys connected with us on a daily basis. So that was like a really moment of pride that we felt as L&D team that we were able to provide the support.
Yeah, we had to be really reactive and proactive. We had to react and act quickly because we launched learning on how do you work remotely, how do you work in a flexible workplace.
Very true.
And then there were phases of the lockdown. We have lockdown where no one can go anywhere or do anything, but now we returned back to stores slowly. So how did we contribute towards that? We launched learning, back to store learning, where it was a virtual learning, and it was a learning curve for us to go around Teams, to go around Zoom,
Correct.
and upskill ourselves very quickly. But then also using technology and giving those contents and those resources to our frontline teams. People at heart and frontliners at heart for sure. We had to learn very quickly as well.
I remember my first Zoom experience.
Yeah.
I don't want to include it in the podcast, that's for sure.
I think we all remember it.
But can I also add that because of all that hard work, and again, maybe this is the point where I brag about my team, our learning team, we actually won the Excellence Award for Innovation that year. So I think that was a great testimony to our hard work, and well done to the team. And of course, to the group employees who nurtured the learning spirit that year, despite the challenges.
I have a question for you, Zaur.
Oh, wow.
In addition to Chalhoub University, where we're focusing a lot on Chalhoub University, so in addition to this amazing tool that we have, how are we supporting the development, the growth of every Chalhoubi now in the group?
That's a great question, Tony. And I'd like to rephrase the question, actually. I don't like us to think in addition to Chalhoub University, because for me, Chalhoub University, or the way how we want to see Chalhoub University, is the entire ecosystem within which all the learning happens. It might be online learning, it might be offline learning, it can be instructor-led, virtual, self-led, you name it. It can be very, very different ways of getting to the knowledge. But it's not in addition to Chalhoub University. It is within the Chalhoub University, within that ecosystem where we host all the experiences. And what we're doing as well to enrich the Chalhoub University experience, we have actually recently deployed our more than 50 certified coaches to support our coaching, to build our coaching community, but also support our employees through coaching intervention. We've got a mentoring program, which is side by side, and Shirnali is hopefully going to talk about it today because it's a project she's very instrumental on. We're working with great partners like Marcello mentioned. We work with Supply Chain Academy, Digital Marketing Institute, Udemy, Axonify, great partners who are helping us in curated content to make the Chalhoub University really reach the international standards.
Very good. I'm very curious about the Udemy part. Can you tell us more about it?
I'm
Marcello,
happy to jump in here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So I think just, going back to the pillar of partners, what Zaur was saying is, I always think of it, can you build the best yourself of everything? And honestly, no, you can't build everything the best, right? So we always work with the best partners that we can find to deliver the best learning experience. So Udemy is one of the leaders in content related to functional learning. They have more than 3,500 programs designed by top
Subject matter experts,
facilitators and subject matter experts. So we're constantly looking for those partnerships that will elevate the experience that people have within the platform. And Udemy is just one of those fantastic partners that we've connected with.
Nice. All right. Zaur just mentioned about mentoring side by side, about the coaching communities. And I know, Sharnali, you've been very instrumental in revising current structure, launching a new structure. So like last year has been a very energetic and dynamic year for you.
Yes.
Tell us more about these two projects.
I think the role of L&D is just really changing, and we were once expected to have all the answers, but I'm glad to say that it's changed, and we're more connectors now, and we need to know who to collaborate with and connect with. to facilitate learning. And we do that through a variety of platforms. We have a coaching community where we have more than 50 coaches, employees who we've accredited as performance coaches. And they support through coaching initiatives for groups such as high potential employees, new leaders, women who are returning to work perhaps after a break or a maternity leave or a sabbatical, and nationals as well. Mentoring is really close to my heart because it allows you to have this one-on-one relationship where you can learn from one person's skill or one person's experience, and you can have these harder skills like technical skills, but you can have the softer skills, personal branding, networking. Authority and influence. And lastly, what I'm also working on is we're working on the launch of a learning ambassador community where we want to partner with subject matter experts in key job families, your data, your tech, your e-commerce, logistics, to understand, get closer to them, connect with them. What do those communities need to customize their learning because they're changing so rapidly? But on the flip side, what do our leaders need to know about these communities, and what does the general population need to know? What does our frontline need to know about those communities as well? And actually, Marcello has been doing a lot of work with communities on retail and digital as well.
Totally. I mean, we cannot do it alone, definitely, as Chalhoub University team. So there's a huge pool of brand trainers. So how are we supporting them?
Right. Yes. So community again is something that's very close to the strength of and the heart of Chalhoub University, and we've been working closely with a number of brand trainers across the group to support their day-to-day. So you can imagine during COVID, brand trainer who enjoys visiting different stores in different regions, all of a sudden, all of that fell away. And so one great thing is we supported them in upskilling all their digital skills to go from being excellent at training face-to-face to being able to do things digitally. Being able to run virtual sessions, run offline sessions, that kind of thing. We've built communities for our brands in our platform. So rather than we build the content, we allow them to build the content. We provide a home for their content within the university. So it keeps extending, it keeps growing. So I think that's key to the strength of a platform, is to keep growing and to keep expanding, evolving.
Nice.
Yes.
Good. Zaur, with more than 12,000 employees now, Chalhoub is within the group. We can say like diversity is amazing. Like, how are we using this factor to design our content?
Well, diversity, first of all, you put a lot of pressure on me right now.
A lot of pressure.
The number of the employees and the number of the needs for learning.
We're taking care of all of them.
Taking care of all of them. Thank you, Tony. But diversity, I think the way how we look at it, there's multiple dimensions to the diversity. There is cultural diversity, which is great because it just brings so much color to the table, so much flavor to the table when we talk about different thoughts, learnings, developments. Then you have the regional diversity. We have colleagues sitting in operating in different countries, working in different setups, and serving their needs can be quite an exciting activity on its own, because you really, really need to customize and adjust to everybody's needs. Then there is a diversity of the perspective, and you've got people who've got very strong commercial mindset, but then you've also got somebody who is really, really very much into the customer experience, and then you've got a diversity around different topics when it comes to the technology, and all of that, when put it in a great melting pot, they actually enrich the learning experiences. But also, I think that's how the entire group operates, right, through the diversity and honoring the diversity and building on that.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. All right, I think we're close to the end here. Marcello, last question is about the user experience for Chalhoub University, and then what's in store for the next period? What do we expect?
Yes, so it's exciting times. So I think, thinking back, things what we thought would be the right experience at the beginning have completely changed. And it's challenging, right, to build a learning platform for 12,000 people using different devices, working in different countries with different
literacy, proficiency,
digital literacy skills. It's always going to be a challenge. So I think, you can't ever think that you failed, right? Because we have that mindset: fail fast, scale fast, right? So if you try something and you fail, you learn. you pivot and you move forward. So we've got we've done a lot of work recently with design agencies, with UX experts to understand how people are utilizing the platform. What are their pain points? What are the things that they'd love to see change? And we're really working towards elevating the user's experience within the platform.
Nice.
We're going to simplify. We're going to, really listen to our customers. It's not our ideas.
Yeah.
It's their feedback. We do encourage people to get in touch with us, let us know, and they always do so.
So you get the message now. Everybody send us your feedback.
Yeah, they're very happy to share, and I think that's testament to how the group is, the culture of being able to share back, and because rather than complain, right? So we don't want you to just to complain and say, "Oh, it didn't do what I expected."
Yeah.
Let us know so we can elevate and fix
What you
it,
expect.
and meet your expectation or
Basically,
exceed
take the
it.
driver's seat, right? Take the
Exactly.
driver's seat of the
And
experience.
it's changed a
Don't-
lot so much from when it first started as well. There's been
Exactly.
several iterations, and we're okay to do that.
All right. Last words?
Last words, I'll stay true to our hashtags, empowering learning and enabling growth.
Very good.
And this is how we want to end this podcast probably as well on. Watch out for the next 3 years since we've got a lot of great stuff in the pipeline coming.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Sharnali?
Stay curious, keep learning. It's a privilege to learn.
Very nice. Marcello?
Be agile, be open. Don't be scared to fail.
Very nice. Okay.
What is your last words?
Yes.
Keep on learning. Lifelong learners. So thank you for tuning in to this session about learning. I hope it was beneficial to you. And stay tuned for more exciting learning experiences with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Johnny.
Tony.
See you.
Thank you, Tony. Bye, everybody.